I'm here to talk about this week's jackpot with Mshamba. Kwani Mshamba uko wapi?
Niko hapa. Kwani unioni?
Kwani what's the occasion?
Wewe ujui? Si leo tuna introduce millionaires kwa Millionaires Club. Umejua hao ni millionaires tangu ndoto waanze. Angalia, kuna John kutoka Dagoretti, kuna huu Rose kutoka Ruiru. Unangoja nini? Unaweza kuwa among this list. Ukifanya nini? Cheza Lotto. Join Millionaires Club.
Win every day with Lotto. Play now and you could win a guaranteed 200,000 shillings in the daily jackpot tonight. Plus, you can be one of 10 players to take home 10,000 shillings today. You will also get a free chance to win a guaranteed 1.2 million shillings this Saturday. Cheza tuzidi pamoja. Send 50 shillings to paybill 777 Account Ebru. Over 18s only. Gaming can be addictive. Play responsibly. This message has been approved by the BCLB.
And just like that, it is Friday, which is unfortunately the last show of the week. But guess what? We have got nothing but great energy. And it's also Fancy Friday, aka your favorite part of the week. We are here to start your weekend with you. So thank you so much for being here with us. My name is Lydia KM, and that's Lydia KM on all social media handles.
It's Friday. I'm Dana DeGrazia, and it's Hustle Goddess Online.
I hope you guys are ready for the weekend. I'm Naomi Wamboy, WAMBOE on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Hey everyone, this is Joanne, otherwise known as Yummy Mommy at yummymommy.ke on all social media platforms. So happy to be here, guys.
Yes.
We're feeling fancy, right?
Yeah.
Are you feeling fancy?
I'm definitely feeling fancy.
You're neon. She's like corporate.
Corporate,
Yeah.
girl,
We're
boss,
like African
fancy.
exactly. And there's some international days that are being celebrated today. So there's World Animal Day, which I don't care for one single bit. Thank you. I really don't like animals. Do you guys have pets?
Yes.
She said she hates animals.
Yeah, that's the word actually,
Unless
that I
they're being
hate.
cooked. Wow.
Exactly. So I'm sorry if anyone out there.
So do you eat them out of like maliciousness?
No, I just eat them because they're delicious. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but anyway, thank you so much for joining us, guys. If you are watching the show from wherever you're watching it from and you want to give us any feedback, you can do it on the hashtag Ebru Let's Talk, and you can SMS us on 40920. We're just about to get into one of our favorite segments, Hot Talk.
Now, we talk about this all the time, and there's always this shift of gospel artists going to secular, and it always causes so much controversy. Are they doing it for money? Are they doing it for this? And people always speculate. But Mercy Masika, who is one of the biggest names in gospel, put in her 2 cents, and this is what she said. She says that there is a shift. It's no longer about entertainment. Anyone who is going on the wave of entertainment is going nowhere. It is just going to make noise and have no impact. And she was talking in reference to people who are moving from, a lot of gospel artists who are moving from gospel over to secular or dibbing and dabbing. And as far as she's concerned, essentially, when you go to secular, when you're not making secular.
I never protected you from that.
Sorry. So secular, the people who are going back and forth from gospel to secular are actually basically making no impact, and basically they'll be back. What do you guys think?
I don't think that's necessarily true.
Yeah.
I think that, especially in Kenya, with gospel artists, it's kind of a strict boundary with what they're expected to sing, how they're expected to sing it and perform it. And I don't think that if they choose to go to the secular side of music, if it's not, they don't necessarily have to be singing gospel. If they're singing secular music, it's still entertainment, and they may be making their money. Because, I mean, look at, there's so many secular artists who are so successful.
It's true.
Yeah, I think what she was saying is that she feels like, if depending on what someone has set out to do, like I feel like if you're going out to do gospel music, and are you a gospel artist or you
secular.
You're secular.
But you've
Secular.
worked, you've done a gospel song.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've done
but
gospel.
I think it depends on, like, if you as an artist, what did you set out to do? If you're a gospel, musician, and like you strongly believe in your faith, and what you want to do is like to touch people's lives with God's message, then I guess what her point is that if you're now going to secular, then you're not going to achieve your purpose. But I mean, ultimately, I guess music is a business just like any other, and probably somebody doing secular music doesn't necessarily mean that they've given up on their passion, doesn't mean that they've given up on their faith. It just means that, they also have to make a living. So, I wouldn't fault them.
Well, I think it's also about sort of acknowledging that people can exist within the in-between. I mean, we've had artists here that identify themselves as gospel artists in the gospel industry, but they don't sort of act as a gospel artist kind of thing. And that's because they believe that the message of gospel and of faith can be delivered in sort of a more new age way, in sort of a way that appeals to a younger crowd, which I feel like is something that the gospel industry as a whole maybe doesn't look at as much. I think they like the idea of it because of course it brings the faith to more people. But when you really want to discuss not only the fact that it's a business, but the fact that people can exist outside of whatever the box of gospel is and still have faith and a relationship with God, that is something that maybe could ease the tension a little bit. Because I feel like saying that if you move from gospel to secular, that like you'll never succeed at it, is a pretty harsh thing for a woman of God to say.
And you know, I always say this when I feel like who you are is what the testament of Christianity is about. It's not whether or not you're singing gospel artists and things like that. For example, this example right here, making this kind of statement. Number one, you are concluding someone else's destiny, right? Right? Which is kind of a little contrary to, you know, what, you know, a positive and, you know, spiritual person would say, which is me personally, I am sticking to gospel because this is the route which I've decided to take. And whoever chooses to get out, may God be with them. Isn't that what we say in church? Or do we only say that in church?
We mostly say it in church.
You only say it in church. You know, I feel like everyone has a different, even some people who started gospel, maybe started gospel so they can make their name and get out. You know, so whatever aim they had, maybe it was not actually consistent with what yours are. But I can appreciate from people who love gospel, especially here in Kenya, and other gospel artists who feel they're protective of their industry. They want their industry to thrive, and every one person who goes from gospel to secular, they feel like we've lost our own.
I love
Secular.
Secular.
Are we rectangular?
This is coming from the person who says especially. Bye.
Yeah,
don't have English now.
I was just like, it's her accent. It's fine. We all know what she's saying.
Is that what they say in Britain?
I don't think so.
Secular.
I feel like for the longest time, I almost feel like gospel artists in Kenya do better than secular artists.
Do.
Like, I don't know if that's not
Apparently
a fact.
financially they do.
Yeah, because people really like. I personally love like gospel music. Like not even from like a Christian point of view. Just like I just like the like those Kiswahili ones. Just like bopping along to
It's
it.
crazy
invested
because they
in.
even be like playing them in the club. That's what's
Right?
Oh my
And
God,
everyone's
yeah.
like,
Yes.
grinding and everything.
But that's weird. That's the weird thing. I feel like people relate to them in a different way, but also, I mean, gospel industry, like music knows what it's doing. It knows how it wants to sound. It knows what people want to hear from their music kind of thing. If all it was like somber, crazy, sad music, it wouldn't make the money it needs to.
Yeah, I guess so. And actually now our next story is also about a gospel artist. And it's a gospel artist that's almost always making the news. Since they started their reality TV show being Bahati and his wife, Diana Marwa, are almost always in the news. If it's not their babies and their cute little Instagram pictures, like, do you guys follow them?
Their baby heaven is an actual angel.
Actually, she's an angel. Yes. It's a fact. Like, she's so cute. But recently, now they were in the news, not for moving secular or anything like that, but Diana recently posted a picture of her man in, I don't know how to describe this. Like, he's wearing this gold chain. He has his shirt open, and he has like white pants. To me, honestly, when I saw the picture, I was just like, yeah, he's just dressed like, an artist trying to look cool, I suppose.
Flex.
But apparently, fans were like, okay, how is this guy dressing? And they started hitting out at her and telling her, dress your man like a father. Actually, one fan actually said, teach your man to dress like a father of 5. He's still dressing like a bachelor. Which I'm like, first of all, no one has any business commenting such things on someone else's picture. Like, I mean, this is their business, exactly. But she quickly clapped back. I love women who clap back. Like, sis was ready. She said, he is my husband. Focus on your own home. Ours is at peace. Which I absolutely, this is him.
Okay.
The gospel artist, exactly.
We've talked about similar stories like this plenty of times on the table before. And I feel like, I don't know, mind your business. It's nobody else's business. They're happily married with beautiful children. He can wear whatever he wants to wear. If he wanted to be shirtless, wait, is he a gospel artist?
Yeah,
He is a gospel artist,
If you want,
Okay, but
he's allowed to like express himself. And what he was wearing was not all that bad.
Yeah,
it wasn't
it was
as
that
bad as
bad.
people like netizens and KOT were making it seem to be.
It's not like he was a woman with his boobs out. Like, the thing is he was just a guy with a lower cut shirt, white pants, and a chain. I'm failing to see how he's like not looking like a father or something like that. Like we don't critique like Diddy or Beyonce with whatever they kind of wear, and you wouldn't say, oh, she's not looking like a mom, he's not looking like a dad. Like he wore a single outfit for a single photo shoot. I don't think he walks around. It's not even practical.
Yeah.
It just seems like is this the hill you want to die on, people?
First, let's keep Beyonce out of this.
Whoa.
Secondly,
But she's a mother and she's amazing.
secondly, I feel like sometimes I always want to appreciate some particular values which maybe we might not hold, because, you know, we are a bit more open, we are a bit more, I don't know, Nairobian, you know, but there is a majority of this country who are still very conservative, and their ideas of mother, father, family are still very, you know, constrained. So this person who's communicating, like, yes, I feel like they're being a hater, but there are people who actually do have these views, like the way a dad should be. First of all, a dad without a kitambi. What?
Yeah. Are you
Are you okay? Are you a dad? Are you sure? You know, they have a very strong idea of how things ought to be. So, and I always appreciate, even when I see people commenting on my things that it's just so away from the way I am, I tend to appreciate, like, you know, if you had seen what I had seen and been where I have been, maybe you would think different. But since you don't, you know, you just stay over there with your opinion, and Bahati will be over here with his life and his living his best life, and the world continues that way. But
I feel like the reality is, when you post anything on social media, it's like you're allowing people to comment on, but also when people comment, me sometimes I just wonder, like, why, when you ask yourself, why am I writing this comment on someone's page? Like, you know, because I get that whole thing of, like, people assume that you should be a certain way. Like, people come on my page all the time and they're like, oh my God, how can you post a picture in lingerie? Oh my God. It's like they forget that now you are so many other things besides being a mom. Like, I'm also just a woman, I'm a show host, I'm a, I don't know, a wife.
Blogger,
like, there's so many other things to me.
being.
Exactly, right? There's so many other things to me besides just being a mom. So I feel like people should also just be graceful in how they approach people on their social media platforms. Like, who gives you the right to determine what somebody should look like if they're a dad?
You came to my page to complain. You
Yeah,
know, like
exactly.
you
So
up
just-
in my business because I don't post it specifically so you can look at it and come to my page and be like, what's wrong today? I post it as a form of expression, so to speak. So when you come to like what I'm sharing on my platform, and like you can't hate from outside the club, you can't even get in. Like, I don't understand
And
it.
honestly, I feel like at the end of the day, if you're gonna post something on somebody's page, is it gonna be beneficial for them? Is it constructive criticism for them? Some people just really just
it add
like being
value?
haters out there. What do you out there think about this picture of Bahati? Do you think it was too much, too risque? Is it appropriate for a dad to wear this? An artist dad. The hashtag is Ebru Let's Talk, and the SMS is 40920. Switching gears a little bit, we've touched on this before. The Supreme Court Counsel of Meru, Jury Nsheke, I hope I said that right. Nsheke, okay. He announces plans to regulate the absurdly high dowry prices, I guess, in the area. And so he was shocked at some prices that were up to like 1 million shillings in dowry. I'd be shocked too, honestly. But this was a proposal that was among many other measures that the elders were proposing in the region. Me personally, I think that dowry should be paid as how much you're able to pay, like at that given time. Like, take into account how much the man makes, take into account how much he can afford, and maybe he doesn't have to pay it all at once, but I think it shouldn't, like if he's making 20,000 shillings a month, they shouldn't give a price for 1 million shilling dowry. You know?
I'm gonna say this once, and I'm gonna say this again. If Kirubi is my man, you do not need to bar him to do anything. Yes?
Pay it all.
Do not stand in the way of my family prospering with this dowry cap or whatever. Here's the thing, dowry is between two people who two families who clearly are in conversation. This isn't red letter kind of business. They're talking. This is what we are asking, and when the man says, I can't afford it, he can't afford it. So either you, the people are going to reduce the dowry, or your daughter doesn't get married. So I feel like, you know, both parties are actually, they benefit when you put it at a standard that the man can afford, because our daughter gets to be married, you get to afford it, everyone is happy.
In the ideal situation, that's what should happen. But having been as a subject of a dowry negotiation, I can tell you, what I feel like the process that used to be symbolic, like, you know, we're giving away our girl who we love, who is our prized possession, which is what it was before. Now has become, it's like a
business
scheme, exactly, to try and get, as much money from the other people as possible, which is a horrible thing. And frankly, when I think back at our dowry negotiation process, like when my husband and I think of it now, it was one of the most stressful times in our relationship because it's not even about now you and him anymore. Now it's like all this and all the things they feel like they've ever done for you and all the, the investments they've ever made. And it really, honestly, to me, I found it such a demeaning process. To me, who is not even part of the process. I get it's African culture, but I look forward to a time when the whole dowry thing is not even a thing. It's just like a bring whatever token you can to appreciate us, and that's it.
I think maybe even the legislation is just inaccurate in the sense of, I don't think you have to legislate a necessarily like a cap to a dowry. Because already, like you said, you kind of should walk into this situation as if you're not going to abuse your future family kind of thing. And also it's like, if the person cannot, if he cannot afford, he cannot afford. That's just sort of the end of that conversation, and like you have to negotiate. I almost feel like if there could be legislation as far as like, there shouldn't be like dowry abuse. Like you can't abuse this person's family. There should be a sort of a payment plan that's written into the legislation, something like that. Because at the end of the day, like it sounds silly, but having something where it's like a cap to me says like, okay, your daughter can be worth no more than this, which seems odd. Having it be, it doesn't actually fix a problem, I guess is at the end of the day. It doesn't, saying there's a cap now on pricing doesn't actually fix an issue, because at the end of the day, all people now are going to go for whatever that cap is.
Yeah, and having grown up without like, a lot of my culture, now I'm obsessed with it. I cannot wait. Every little thing about my culture is like something which I'm so excited about. So for me, for this to be put into a situation where I can't even imagine that, my side of the family would be so horrible of people that they're making this difficult for me to just, get married just because of like, you did it, right? And it's so sad. So actually, let's just put this into context. So who was doing what and why in your story?
It was like, because I don't know if they're watching this show, and if they are, my aunties, my
they
uncles,
were proud to do it then.
But you see, for them, it's not even that they're trying to abuse the family. It's just like, sometimes maybe it's just that they feel so strongly that they want to keep you, or that they don't want to let you go. Exactly, don't want to let you go so easily. But then, of course, their approach is just completely wrong.
Yeah.
Exactly, and the whole process can be just so daunting. But I think the cap could work, because like if you say the cap is like 100,000 and somebody didn't have 100,000, even if everyone says 100,000, it's not as much as $1 million.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, not as much as $1 million.
But then again, if Kirubi was going to marry me,
I'm
expecting a couple meals in that.
Okay, Kirubi, are you watching?
I know, right?
Because then also, if the cap becomes, 100K, like you said, and someone can afford more, it still is going to resonate resentment in this family, because they still didn't get what they wanted. If it was more like there could be legislation of like, listen, this needs to be moderated by an elder, this needs to happen in some sort of way that both parties feel like they're gaining. Because you're right with what you said. Originally, this was about our daughter is a gift, and we would like a gift to be exchanged back. We can somehow get that back in between, instead of like, now I'm walking away because the government won't allow me to have more money kind of thing.
It's true. I feel, first of all, that, my entire idea of dowry has really just been shattered by Joe. Thank you so much.
This is qua ground virtually different.
Very different. And I feel so, I have this romantic view of it, but I know there's so many people who have the same experience. Do you have a bad experience with dowry? Do you have a good experience? And is this cap, do you think it would be beneficial? The hashtag is Ebru, let's talk, and the SMS line is 40920. I want to put this out there as a claim. My future husband, if you're out there.
Or otherwise.
Kirubi or otherwise, or relatives. I would prefer if we could all just, work it out and just come to an amazing, perfect agreement. Yeah.
So, moving on swiftly from the dowry conversation, which is just a foreign one to me, but also something I know I'm going to have to go through eventually, we're going on to Ask the Girls, which is, as you know, our segment of you send in a question, comment, or concern, and we do our best to answer it. So, it's Ask the Girls. So, this Ask the Girls is both a unique story and one that I think can touch us all. So if I briefly read, "Hi, my boyfriend cheated on me after more than 2 years of dating, and I choose to forgive him because he was really apologetic, is a bit more open and has generally changed and is actually showing a lot more intention to make sure he doesn't hurt me. But I just can't seem to forget the ordeal. I keep bringing it up every time and can't seem to heal. Please help." So this is like a story of, you know, a young woman scorned, and she wants to be able to forgive this guy, and he seems to be working, but she can't move past it. I guess the advice is, should she have to move past it, ladies?
I don't think it's a have to, because, you know, whatever your personal boundaries are, as far as if somebody crosses this boundary, it's over, are all very different. So there's no should here. If you want to move on with your relationship, fantastic. If you feel like this is too much, it's completely up to you. This is my personal opinion. I have very clear boundaries on the things which I struggle to move past. And one of my biggest one is that violation of trust. For me, I have it's when I've experienced it, I have seen that it's too difficult, and maybe I have not evolved to a place where I'm able to see someone as a fantastic human being after they do that, right? So because I've made my boundaries clear, if that violation of trust happens, then I know exactly what to do. But if this one, if you're not sure if the violation is, you know, if you haven't made a conclusive decision whether or not this is a thing that is too far for you to come back from, then you're in the indecision. If you are in the indecision, you have to decide whether you like it or not, whether or not there's something that you are willing to move past, and is it that bad that you can't see the good in this man anymore? Because if you can't, then this is why we're stuck in this situation, no?
Yeah, most definitely. You know that phrase, forgive and forget? Some people like say forgive and forget.
Yeah.
I think you should, if you want to, forgive, but never, you don't have to always forget. That's not true. Because, well, with me, like the first time I ever got cheated on, like I took him back after that, the first time, long time ago, ladies, long time ago. But I took him back, but it was always in the back of my mind. So it was like, it was something that I had to like decide, do I want to continue the rest of my life like this and deal, like knowing that he cheated on me, knowing that there's any chance he possibly could do it again, because 9 times out of 10, if they cheat, they're gonna do it again. Because, and then switching lanes a little bit, when I was the one who cheated. You know, now the other story, when I was the one who cheated, I felt so bad about it. He took me back, and it felt like it was all good, but even in the back of my mind, I was just like, okay, I know he doesn't trust me, like as much as like from before. Like that trust just goes out the window.
Remember what
period.
you said about we listened to your notes. I want to prove this to you.
Thank you.
So Joanne, when they went to their premarital counseling, as she has said, they were taught I think it was conflict resolution, and one of the things was when something is resolved and you've decided that you're gonna deal with it, you've got to move on your full body and mind.
Yeah.
Everything,
because if you leave
everyone.
some of it, that thing affects you throughout. So I took that on board.
Yeah. For me, I feel like I think it's amazing that you've chosen to forgive him. I think the fact that you've already said
Angel-like.
you've chosen to forgive him, that's good, because you've already made a decision. You decided to forgive him. I think it's also fantastic that he's also making effort to show you that he's changed, because she's saying he's, you know, he's different, and he's being more intentional, which I think is fantastic. Now, if my understanding of her question is how can she get past it?
Yeah.
As somebody who has cheated before and somebody who has been cheated on before, 3 things which really, really helped me is, 1, give it time. How long has it been since he told you? Like if it's like 1 week afterwards, you're still obviously going to be hurt. Give it some time. It's been like a month, 2 months, and you can't get past it. Then exit the relationship.
We're gonna keep you hanging in there to hear the other 2.
Okay. Second, I would say focus on the positives, which is something that I think you've already been doing. You're able to recognize that he's making these changes. So try and focus on that, and hopefully it'll take away from the negative event and the experience that you experienced. But thirdly, talk about it with him. Like when something happens and it reminds you of that, tell him, right now I'm feeling really angry with you and I'm remembering what happened. And not necessarily in a confrontation, like, why did you cheat? Why are you just in like a very calm and just like, this is how I'm feeling. Or talk about it with someone else, if he would allow you to. What not to do is to retaliate. Do not go sleep with somebody else because he slept with somebody else. That will just make it worse.
It's
true.
Exactly.
And I said this, anyone who I'm trying to have a relationship with, like past this point needs to be open to third-party intervention, right? Here you've broken down in communication because he's done something, he's sorry for it, and it's affecting you deeper than even maybe you know to articulate, because you might not know what part of this has hit you this hard. So you can be open to either somebody who's going to be a mediator, you guys can go to a therapist, you can go to a third-party adult, maybe someone who's much older and much more experienced, who can try and communicate this, like, you know, she feels like this because of this. And maybe the more he understands why you felt that way, he might even be able to come even further to be able to help you like get past this.
I think both of you at the end of the day have to acknowledge that this, for at least a while, is going to be a constant conversation because you're incomplete with it, which is going to make you incomplete with the relationship as a whole. So I believe taking time is good. I believe talking about it, you made a good point. Don't bring up an issue that you're angry with when you're angry, because then it will just feel like you're piling it on and it's coming from a place of resentment and not resolution. So at the end of the day, we started off with saying you have to decide whether or not you want to stay in the relationship, and then you have to decide which area you're going to work on. Do you want to work on it with him and work on this and in the relationship and really lean into it? Or would you be like, I'm going to have to protect myself and get out of it and heal as an individual?
Yeah, I think you've shared that you've cheated and been cheated on. Have you both? You've both. Have you ever stayed in a situation where you were cheated on?
Yeah, I've actually had two past boyfriends cheat on me, and I've reacted to them very differently. In one, it was a long-term relationship, so I forgave him because I was like, okay, we've been through so much has happened. This is just one thing. Okay, fine. You know, I weighed up the pros and the cons. Then with another one, it was like we had only been dating like 2 months, and it's like we didn't even know each other that well. Then I'm like, seriously, just get out of my face.
Yeah, and you know, funny enough, I know there's no time limit when somebody's supposed to. It's supposed to be okay to cheat. But this is what I said. This is what I said. I was like, considering, let's say you meet someone, you guys are dating, and you're thinking about marriage. That's the rest of your life. So I'm 28. If you cheat on me in the first year of our relationship and our story together, you're failing nursery. You failed nursery. You failed nursery school. You can't even go to
This is baby class.
You know what I mean? If someone fails nursery, they go to special school.
Yeah, you don't deserve to be out in the world.
You don't. You know, like you've got to go to special school and you've got to be dealt with differently. So for me, I feel like the discipline to at least commit and to respect my boundaries in the first couple of years of our relationship is the very least you can do.
When you're like not so intertwined. I was both cheated on and cheated. I cheated when it was like the relationship was super young and we were attempting long distance, and I didn't tell him until I found that he cheated, and he still doesn't know that I did. But it was like I came back from Nairobi and I was back visiting holidays, and I was like, he was at work, and you know, I was laying in his bed under his pillow, and then what did I find? I found a pair of underwear under his pillow. And I'm like, you had a nasty woman, even leave her. And he was like, no, you know, he tried to give this excuse of like, oh, you know, my cousin was over and I guess he brought a girl home. And I'm like, you live in a studio apartment.
Were they clean? Were they clean?
Of course they weren't clean. Okay. Of course. And he's trying to tell me, he's like, oh, you know, some women leave their underwear to mark their territory. And I was like, if this girl knew for a fact it wasn't your cousin's apartment, she wouldn't have left her underwear. Obviously, I'm not that stupid.
And to be honest, one of the things that I do feel really does upset me when it comes to cheating is like getting caught. It's like, you know, the fact that you're doing it in such a sloppy and disrespectful way that it's in my face is like, you can't work harder.
You couldn't,
you know, if you're
protect me.
You know, surely you're not good at committing and you're not good at cheating. Anyway, but you know, we do appreciate that, you know, when somebody is violated like that, it is a very serious situation. We do feel for you, and we hope the advice we've given you has somewhat given you some kind of clarity on how to move forward. But right now, it is time for Talk That Talk. So, as we get older, there are some things which we appreciate about our parents that really we did not really appreciate that much when we were younger. There are a lot of, you know, don't do this, don't do that, do this way, that our parents were drilling in us when we were younger for so long, and we ignored them. But now, as adults, we appreciate in like a different level. So today we're going to talk about some of those things. So when while you're there, you can be letting us know how it was for you. What did your parents tell you that you didn't appreciate them but you appreciate now? The hashtag is Ebru Let's Talk, and the SMS line is 40920. Girls, Let's be honest. Let's give our parents the
So
credit.
so many things I thought were dumb.
For me, number one is going to bed early, right? You had a bedtime when you were younger, and it was a fight. You know, my mom used to make us go to bed, I think it was like 8 p.m. through the entire of high school, and it was a fight every night. Like, you know why? We are grown, and now, I mean, being asleep at 8
Is a gift.
is a blessing. It's a blessing.
Oh my God, so true. One that I remember my mom telling me, I think from the time that I was like 13, was the importance of like almost saving yourself for your future husband.
Yeah.
Which I obviously just used to laugh. Exactly. I just used to be like, no, mom, you know, you have to experience, you have to go out and do all these things. And of course, I did live my life. I mean, I even got a child even before I met my husband. But when I did meet my husband, I found myself wishing that I had listened to her more.
Yeah.
I found myself wishing that I had not been as loose.
No,
As free.
As liberated.
I'm just trying to be honest,
did your
guys, but
husband
like-
also wait?
He did no, of course
So,
not.
okay, so
yeah, but I
y'all were
still
on
found
even
myself because
ground.
I still found myself wishing that there are some experiences I had not shared with other people that I could have
That you wish you
shared for the
saved
first time with him. Exactly. So I found myself wishing that. So I'm just like, yeah, mom, you were so right.
Yeah.
Mine is not nearly
Don't
as deep.
start killing my single
I'm
life.
sorry.
Mine is not nearly that deep.
It's okay.
Mine was just like, you go outside without a sweatshirt or a jacket, and your mom would be like, "You're going to get cold." I'm like, "No, I can last. I'm gonna be fine. I'm a grown person. It's warm out even." And then my father would be, "Let them freeze. Let them die in the cold and freeze to death."
I think my main one would be, they always used to tell us, you remember when we were younger and we had those square box TVs? So me and my sisters always used to like sit straight directly in front of the TV, you know, not even on the couch. And
That's
my
your
parents always
address.
used to say, don't sit too close to the TV or else you'll go blind. And lo and behold, without these contacts, I cannot see my hands in front of my face. And then that other one, if all your friends jumped off a cliff, would you? Sometimes, like in college, my college days, I was like, heck yes, I
You're
would.
in.
Let's cliff jump, baby. Let's all die together.
But now,
Now a whole different story.
Yeah.
I'm too grown for that.
Another one. So my mom is in love with doing ironing. We love you so much, mom. Great, but she is like ironing is like therapy for her. So when we were younger, as part of our discipline, my mom used to work somewhere where they had a commercial washing machine. So she would do all the laundry together. So we never used to do our own laundry. Yeah, but then when she brings it back, you've got to iron every single item that's yours, right? And to me, it was like, that was like army day for me. You know, like having to iron every single thing. And there was no question.
Now today.
However, now when I see someone with a crease on their clothes, I'm like, why don't people who you live with love you?
yeah, like
Why are you not loved where you're from? And now I could never go out with creased clothes.
Oh my God, that's so true. Because
Yes.
my mom was always like a neat freak, and it would fight with our family because she was one of those people that if something was dirty, she'd clean it and then yell at you for not realizing she wanted it clean. And so it was a lot of contention, a lot of tension between us. But now I get what she was going from, because it's like the peace of mind you feel when you're in a clean environment is so intense. And then also taking care, because I love cooking, of your cooking utensils. I don't know if you guys know this, but like a cast iron pot, for example, takes a little bit more love than a regular skillet kind of thing. And so now I kick myself, because it's like, if I didn't have those habits when I was younger, I don't necessarily have them now, and now all of my nice cooking things are breaking, or I'm not taking good care of you. It's like you were younger and you didn't take good care of your stuff, is really what you're saying. You went off and you would get dirty and disgusting and holes, and you're like, my mom will buy me another one or something. And now here you are with bad habits.
Yeah. Another thing I remember my mom and my dad, I guess both my parents trying to get us to do is like be friends as sisters. But like, you know, when you're young, your sisters are just like these annoying people who, why did they have to have these other children? Like I was enough. Why did they have to? And like I remember me and my older sister, because we are so close in age, we would fight all the time. And like I just used to be like, I can't imagine ever being this person's friend. But my mom always used to try to get us, she'd buy us like the same clothes, and we're just like, ugh. And like she would try and get us to be friends. She'd try and get us to like, she just take care of your sister. You know, just see what your sister is doing. And I'm always like, just stop referencing that person. But like now when we've gotten older, I honestly can't imagine life without my sister, you know. And it's like, yeah, mom was right. Like having a sister, it's like just having a friend that you grew up with, who knows your memories, who knows like you know what you've gone through, and it's such a comforting thing.
When you used to fight though, what did your mom do? My mom did the stupidest thing, and it worked every time when my sister and I would fight.
What? No, she did.
What?
Okay, so whenever my sister would be like fighting, and you guys keep in mind, my sister used to like cut my hair. She would like throw things at me. It used to get really hectic.
some white people
But whenever we fought, she would right?
I'd be dead.
Right? Like that's the thing. It was. She hated me as a person. But then whenever we got older and we fought, she would sit us down on the stairs and she'd make us look into each other's eyes, and she'd be like, "You can't laugh. You can't talk, you can't smile, you can't do anything." So we would just be there staring at each other. And it worked every time to just, we would forget we'd just be like this. And if you were staring at someone in silence for like at least even just 10 seconds, you're like, okay, well the fight's over because this feels stupid. Yeah. It's a really good one.
Another one is money doesn't grow on trees. What? Back in the day, you know, when you're younger and your parents buy you everything, like you never knew where the money came from. You just knew it was there. What? When you get your own checks? Ooh, boy. I don't want to spend this much. Let me calculate how much I could drink this weekend.
Like today, I always ask this. Anytime when we're deciding lunch, it's got to be, we are open and honest with each other about what check anyone can afford. So there's there's a couple of restaurants here, and I'm gonna call one of these restaurants Dana. So when Naomi wanted to go to Dana, and I was like,
I don't have no Dana money.
You know, now that I can say that, but before when there was a school trip and it was like however many £100, I just think my mom like. Your responsibility is
I am your child.
Without any sensitivity to she's got to work. Maybe she hadn't accounted this in her budget, because you know right now something like one of my tires needs replacing. Stressing me because that is not in the budget.
That's so funny. You know, kids have no understanding of money at all.
No concept.
My son thinks, like, and we've tried to explain this to him so many times. Like, you know how you go to a shop and you give 500 shillings, then you get back like a 200, a 100, a 100. So to him, he feels like you're getting more money. So he's like, why don't you just take the money to the shop, because then you're gonna get more money. And then whenever you send him anywhere, he's like, now once he's gotten the change, he's like, now that's his money because you know he's gotten it. Kids.
I'm relating so much to these stories so crazily. It's insane. I remember my mom used to yell at me over money. Not to define you. That was my mom's thing, because she was actually married before she met and had kids with my father. So she was like, listen, you can get out and be who you want to be from anything whenever you need to.
Yeah, I think that be who you want to be.
Not my Dana.
Okay. Wow.
Don't take my
Someone's
power.
mic crazy.
I definitely think that just be who you want to be. You know, grow into your own. Yes.
Yeah.
I am a phenomenal woman. Phenomenal woman, that's me.
It's true. And everything, no matter what circumstance you are, if you celebrate yourself, if you value yourself, sometimes it does help you clarify the decisions that you are making. Absolutely. But one decision we can tell you is that we want to be here all the time, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 6 p.m. with you every single week. And we hope that you make that decision too. Until next Wednesday at 6 p.m., have yourself a fantastic weekend. We love you. My name is Lydia KM. That's Lydia KM on all social media handles.
My name is Dana DeGrazia from Shine and Everybody Gonna Shine. It's Hustle Goddess Online.
My name is Naomi Wamboy, WAMBOE on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
And I'm Joanne at yummymummy.ke on all social media platforms. See you guys next week.
We're on top. Hey, ladies, we're on top. Hey, we're on top. Hey, ladies, we're on top. Hey, we're on top. Hey, ladies. Your time is up. Please move aside for us. 1, 2, 3, flex. Don't kill our vibe, or we will lead you alive. No test. 1, 2, 3, flex. Ladies, we're on top. Hey, we're on top. We're on. Hey.